Jeff Gordon crashed and Jimmy Johnson had a miscue in pit road. Did that spell doom for the Hendrick Motorsports team? Hi, I'm Amber Wilson with the BF Goodrich NASCAR Report. The team's only as good as its weakest member. The Hendrick Motorsports team didn't seem that good going into Sunday's Coca-Cola 600 at Lowe's Motor Speedway, even with the likes of Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, and Kyle Busch in starring roles. Casey Mears was the only member of Hendrick Motorsports without a win, but more than that, he had only finished in the top 10 once this season and hadn't finished better than 18th since March 25th. But with the superstars struggling, Casey Mears had just enough fuel to reach victory lane on the same day as the Indy 500, a race his uncle Rick won 4 times. The 2007 Nextel Cup Series has had 7 winners this season, and Hendrick Motorsports hosts 4 of them. Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon have won more than half of the races, and the Hendrick Motorsports monster keeps on moving. Jeff Gordon suffered his worst finish of the year, crashing in lap 62, and now his lead is down to 132 points over teammate Jimmy Johnson, who finished 10th. With the most of the top drivers finishing poorly on Sunday, Carl Edwards' 15th place finish moved hhim up 2 spots to 8th. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s 8th place finish moved him a little closer to the top 12 and a spot in the chase for the championship, and Casey Mears moved up 6 places to 29th with his first win. And we welcome in our NASCAR expert, Pete Pistone, to the program. And Pete, it's been a pretty disappointing first go-round for Casey Mears with the Hendrick Motorsports team. Does this win improve his job security?
Well, Amber, you're right. I think Casey's going to be able to sleep a little bit better here in the next coming weeks with that win. There has been a lot of pressure on him because a lot of people expected great things from Casey Mears when he came over to Hendrick Motorsports. But as you said, he got off to a very disappointing start. And with all the talk about Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s availability, Casey was a little bit on the hot seat, although Rick Hendrick, the car owner, came out a couple of weeks ago and said there was no room at Hendrick Motorsports for Junior. He was happy with his 4 drivers, and Mears came through this past week with his first career Nextel Cup win to show that Rick Hendrick had some great foresight in putting him in that number 25 car.
All right, Pete, and there's been a lot of errors among pit crews lately. Last week we were talking about Denny Hamlin, and then Jimmy Johnson lost a lug nut at the Coca-Cola 600, and Tony Stewart ran out of gas. That's the 4th time this year that he's looked in control of a race and gone on to lose it. Are we going to see some changes in pit crews coming up?
Well, I think there might be, because Denny Hamlin, as you said, made those pit crew changes with Joe Gibbs Racing, and Tony Stewart's been very unhappy with what's going on with him, taking him out of a chance to win several times. We might see some adjustments with that 20 car to go along with what happened with that 11 car a few weeks ago. I wouldn't be surprised in the least. Right,
okay, and we're in Dover this week. Who do you see taking that checkered flag, Pete?
Well, we're at the Monster Mile, and we're back to the car of tomorrow. Obviously, the Hendrick Motorsports Brigade has won 5 of the 5 Car of Tomorrow races. I don't see Jimmy Johnson or Jeff Gordon not being in the mix this week. But keep your eyes on Jeff Burton. He came to victory lane at Dover last September and broke a long drought, winless drought for Jeff Burton there. He's been in a little bit of a slump lately. Maybe that 31 car can turn things around. And I guess the sleeper, who is always a sleeper when we go to Dover, Matt Kenseth, he looks for another win there and maybe break up the Chevy dominance and give Ford a victory this Sunday at the Monster Mile.
All right, thanks as always, Pete. We look forward to hearing from you this weekend in Dover. And don't forget to join us next week when we'll take a look at Pocono. If you missed anything today on the BF Goodrich NASCAR Report, stop, refresh, and rewatch. I'm Amber Wilson.